We have 15 minutes to answer 3 questions. It's not easy. Actually, it's quite tough, but we try to make it easy. Oh, by the way, you listen to the music that we have in the introduction and the ending. That is not just ordinary music. That music was composed by our designer. All the music produced, we cannot just steal it from YouTube because everything is copyright, because we have to observe the no stealing precept. So in other words, we write out our own music. But you may not realize it. You thought our music could have been borrowed from somewhere. No, we compose our own music and we design our own intro. Surprisingly, I have been receiving a lot of positive feedback regarding our website and regarding what we put on the internet. A lot of people have been viewing it, and I think it's very beneficial to a lot of people who viewed it. First question, I have a lot of anger and anxiety in my life, mostly from thinking and worrying if my deeds and work are good enough and if others will appreciate my work, will accept my work. How to exit this cycle? That's a good question. So in other words, you have the concurrent mental functions of anger and anxiety. Anger and anxiety are 2 concurrent mental functions inherent in you that would rise up when your consciousness, when your senses interact with the outside objects, creating that kind of consciousness in you, the mano consciousness. All these things hidden in you is not because of this life. It's probably because they have been built up, accumulated from previous life. And what have been accumulated from previous life, you can change them. Can you change your past history? You cannot change them. You can just accept it. You don't allow your concurrent mental functions to arise. So no more anxiety, no more anger. You don't allow it to arise. But is that easy? That is extremely difficult. Because you have been building up that personality. You have been building up that for many, many lifetimes. And you want to get rid of all those in one lifetime? Extremely difficult. But it does not mean that if something is extremely difficult to overcome, you don't do it. It's challenging to do it. Are you willing to accept that challenge? Or you say, no, I will just let anxiety and anger overwhelm me and let me die out. If that's your choice, go ahead. But a lot of people would not let past history overwhelm them. They like to make history. They like to change their past bad history. Which category you fall in? If you ask me this question, you're not that category that you don't want to change. You want to change. You just don't know how to change it. And let me tell you how to change it. But if you're willing to change it, that's another matter. To change it is to train your mind. You can only change it by changing your mind, changing your mental functions. How do you change your mental functions? You must, every time when your anger comes up, your anxiety comes up, you either replace it by another prevalent thought, or you say, don't get up, don't come up. I don't allow you to come up. Or you can use a combination of this. Depends on which one is effective for you. So in other words, when an anger and anxiety comes up, I would do a mantra. And now that concurrent mental function is pulling me down, it's overwhelming me, it's killing me, it's getting me into trouble. I would like to have Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then you kill that thought. There's no way that you can eliminate it. You can only overcome it by covering it up by another thought. But when that sprout, when that shooting is always being covered, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker, And that cover that you have is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. That thought is getting stronger. Then that goes to the question of, can you train your thought to be stronger? Can you train up your meditation? Can you train your samadhi? So you have to use a combination of, sometimes you use a mantra to overcome it, and sometimes you simply return to the mind. The mind will say, don't get up. Anger and anxiety, don't come up. I can see you. I'm watching you. I'm sympathetic with you. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to eliminate you because I cannot. But I'm quite sympathetic with you. And no more anger, no more anxiety. Stay calm. And let us work something out. In other words, you come to terms with your anxiety and anger. You don't kill it. I want to suppress it. I want to kill it. I want to eliminate it. I want the master of it. You don't need that to be the master. Can you be a friend of your anger and anxiety? Pat your friend's shoulder and say, hey buddy, I know that you have a tough time, but let us talk. And be friend with your enemies. Be friend with your concurrent mental functions. Can you do that? Don't try to kill it, because by killing it, you create another anger. By killing it, you create another anxiety. Why? Because by killing it, you're afraid, you're anxious that it couldn't be killed. And you expect it not to be killed. So you just befriend, come to terms with them. And there's so many ways that you can find out to control your anger and anxiety. But all these is equivalent to enforcement of your mind. You need samadhi, you need meditation, you need mantra. And you certainly need precepts. Why do you need precepts? Because if you have all these precepts with doing meritorious deeds, will lead to influence you to strengthen your mind in the control of your anger and anxiety. That's how you accept it. That's how you get out of this cycle. But slowly you have a friend. You don't have an enemy. You have a friend, and that friend is called anxiety and anger. It's just like when you have a family member and he's always angry and anxious, he's always throwing things around, he could hit you, you want to hit back, or you want to throw anything at that person, it wouldn't help. You try to be friend with him. I think this is what Punaji said, at peace with yourself. At peace with yourself is not just the words, is actually nurture it. Pat the shoulder of anxiety and anger, come to terms, and enjoy life with him. You slowly pacify them. If someone frees animals that are some company's possession, is that stealing? Or if you free animals and those animals belong to the slaughterhouses, the owner of the slaughterhouses, you're trying at night to unlock all these fences so that all these buffaloes, all these pigs will flock out and then will flock into your truck, and you truck them away and you set up a community to save them. They're stealing. Stealing is stealing. That would be regarded as stealing not only by the government, that would be regarded as stealing by the Buddha too, because that's not your possessions. But then you say, I'm saving animals. Yeah? Stealing is stealing. But if you think to yourself, yes, I will suffer from the consequence of stealing, but I'm willing to sacrifice it. I'm willing to go through the pain of the sacrifice, but I can save thousands of these pigs and buffaloes. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to be penalized by punishment, but I can save the lives of millions. So if you have that idea, you are a bodhisattva, because you forget yourself. You forget your own sorrow and suffering. You are so compassionate that you forget about your own body. You're so compassionate that you forget about your own suffering. You are Mother Teresa. You are a Virgin Mary. You are Jesus Christ for that sake. Because you sacrifice yourself for the liberty, for the freedom, for the salvation of others. That's what we call salvation. That's what we call hero in revolutions. In the French revolutions, how many people died for the country? They shed their blood. They smeared their blood everywhere in their struggle to get salvation for their own folks. I read a very famous speech by a black freedom leader. He was a very literal man, and he wrote books, and he didn't mean to be violent. He just wanted to lead his folks to get to freedom, to get to democracy. But somehow in the process of doing it, there are people who suppressed him, and circumstances require that they have to break through a certain line, and they kill some people because the mob is out of control. And he was sentenced to death. And in his speech, and he said, I don't mean to kill people. It's just in the process of getting freedom, democracy, I, by mistake, spilled the blood of those opposed bodies. And you think that by struggling for democracy without the intent of killing, if I should be punished, so let be it. Have you read that speech? Oh, it's very famous. I was completely touched by that speech. I'm still touched right now. So many people in the history of civilization that are so great. All right, next question. When do we actually know we are on the way to true enlightenment? When you start to walk the way of enlightenment. How do you know you walk the way of enlightenment? You know that you've been doing mistakes. By the time when you discover your own mistakes and you want to improve on them, that's your first step to enlightenment. Or on the other hand, if you say, everything I do is right. I have my right to do this. I have my right to kill animals for food. I have the right to kill seal for the fur. I have the right to kill cows for the hide. That's my right. But if you start to think, I don't have the right to sacrifice seals to get the fur. I can go cotton. I don't have the right to kill cows for the sirloin steak. I can eat vegetables. You recognize your own mistakes and you want to walk the enlightened, the virtuous way. That's the time when you know you're on your way. Have you been on your way? Are you on your way? Or everything you think is egoistic. Everything you think you're right. Your view is right, your action is right, your speech is right, everybody else is wrong. Then certainly you're not on your way to enlightenment. You're on your way to another path. You know what that path is. The path that leads to destruction. The path that leads to failure. Last question. I meet my target. What do I do if I get a buzzing sensation on my forehead when I meditate? It distracts me from breath. Should I start meditating on the sensation when it comes? A buzzing sensation in the forehead, that means something in here. In the experiences of many experienced meditators is, the object of the concentration could be the belly button, 3 inches below the belly button. That is the ocean of breath. In the Chinese language, we call it Dan Tian Qi Hai, 3 inches below the belly button. So you meditate on that location. Some people meditate on an object, and that becomes your object. But how do I meditate on 3 inches below my belly button? You just open up your clothes and see what is below your belly button. You just see it. See it and put that image in your mind and try to, this is the location I'm meditating on. And if you always concentrate on that location, surprisingly, that location will get sensations moving. It's just like a fiery red ball slowly moving in that direction. It gets bigger and bigger. There's more heat in there. There's more energy in there. Wherever your mind concentrates on, that's where the action is. I don't know if you have been concentrating on your forehead. I don't know. But if you haven't, that means when you think, maybe a certain part of your thinking concentrates on your forehead. And maybe a certain portion of your brain have been overly utilized. We don't know. We're not supernatural. We don't know. But I think a safe way to do it is forget about that sensation. Some people think that sensation is good. You didn't tell me, but that sensation, you know what? When people have that sensation, concentration, later they feel the heat radiating, and they feel a glow of light embracing them. They have special feeling. And then they attach the glow of light. Oh, it's so bright. It's so comfortable. It's like a warm orange color balloon and embracing me with warmth. Don't attach to anything. If it comes, let it come here. If this one is giving you a headache, don't concentrate on here. Concentrate somewhere else. Concentrate on your breath. Direct your thinking to the breath. Okay, so the situation requires you to have some trial and error. Don't concentrate in there. Try to remove your attention away from it. Get into the brain, to the breath. And don't attach to things that becomes good to you. When you meditate for a while, all of a sudden this rupture of joy would arise in you. In other words, you feel extremely blissful. Don't attach to that bliss. Just let it go, come and let it go. There's a lot more to say about phenomena occurring during the process of meditation. There's a lot more to say about it, and with the limitation of time, we can always continue in the future as to what to do.